The Catalan president is considering whether or not to attend the inauguration of the Mediterranean Games on Friday, because the King of Spain is also going. And he says he should apologize for condoning police violence on referendum day. Hello, and welcome to Catalan News. The Catalan and Spanish presidents will hold their first bilateral meeting at the beginning of July, Pedro Sánchez announced. The summit is highly anticipated, and Catalan government officials want them to discuss demands for independence. But before that comes, the two leaders might meet in Tarragona on Friday, where the Mediterranean Games will be inaugurated. That is, of course, if President Quim Torra attends, something which has not been yet decided. Parliament Speaker Roger Torrent, however, already said he will not go. We'll get you the latest on this, and stay with us if you want to know about Catalan traditions for the summer solstice. The King of Spain made an institutional speech on October 3rd last year, 2 days after the independence referendum. In it, he did not say anything about the police actions to stop the vote, which left 1,000 injured according to Catalan government figures. His speech shocked many in Catalonia, even in unionist circles, as his unconditional support for the Rajoy government seemed, for some, to go well beyond his institutional and neutral role. Since then, Catalans have been far from holding the Spanish monarchy dear in their hearts, with some towns even declaring him persona non grata. And now, high-ranking politicians in Catalonia, such as the President and Speaker of the House, are even considering whether they should attend events with him.
With new governments in Catalonia and Spain, political animosity might get the chance to slowly ease up after months of head-on confrontation. For the moment, though, it's still there. With President Mariano Rajoy out of the game, King Felipe VI stands alone as the ultimate political nemesis for pro-independence parties. On Friday, he might attend the opening ceremony of the Mediterranean Games in Tarragona with Catalan President Quim Torra, an extremely tense meeting, and one that will only happen if Torra ends up attending the event. Today, the government spokesperson urged King Felipe to retract a controversial speech he gave after the independence referendum, in which made no mention of the victims of police violence.
Entenem que no pot ser és que hi hagi una trobada protocolària, somriure i encaixada de mans. Si demanem reflexió, i és evident que el que preferiríem és que fessin gestos d'un canvi d'actitud.
Also today, the main unionist party confirmed that its leader held a phone conversation with President Torra last week. This after she refused to meet with him at the government headquarters, where a banner hangs in support of jailed and exiled pro-independence leaders.
Per part de Ciutadans i per part de la senyora Arrimadas, parlar, sí. Parlar, per suposat. Normalitzar la situació, no.
Dialogue with the Spanish government is set to take place early in July. Issues at stake include the transfer of jail leaders to Catalan prisons, something President Sánchez says would be, quote, reasonable. And since Sánchez will also attend the Mediterranean Games, a first meeting with Torra could also take place there. Meanwhile, Parliament Speaker Roger Torrent already confirmed he won't attend the ceremony. He also said he will not back down after a Spanish court rejected a lawsuit against the judge prosecuting pro-independence leaders.
One of the immediate consequences of the Spanish crackdown on the independence plans was the imprisonment of half of the Catalan government and the exile of the other half, including Carles Puigdemont. The former president is still in Germany, waiting for judges to decide on his extradition. Today we learned that the Catalan court dealing with his case wants to study a report by the Spanish government, one that confirmed public money was not used to pay for the referendum. This is especially key for the Catalan leader's defense, as the German judges are already considering whether to send him back to Spain to be judged for misuse of public funds. Months ago, they already dismissed the option of him being tried for rebellion, although they will have to rule on this again, too. The decision is not expected before the end of the month. We can speak now with the chairman of the Human Rights Committee of the German Parliament, the Bundestag, Guide Jensen, from the Liberal Party. Thank you very much for joining us today. So, how do you assess Europe's approach on the Catalan crisis? Is Catalonia still an internal affair?
Well, on the one hand side, I would say definitely it's an internal affair because Catalonia is a region in Spain. On the other hand, I think that the EU, the European Union, could take a more neutral and moderating role in this whole discussion on Catalonia and Spain. I think that we also observed that in the last weeks and months that people were discussing whether the EU should interfere and intervene in this process in the referendum. I think the EU has the role or could take the role and take both the separatists and also the unionists and discuss that with both of them at one table and try to establish a more positive way and discourse with regard to secessionism, with regard to an identity which Catalonia has definitely. And this, I think, is a more positive way we can also have a discussion in the European Union without just saying those are the people that want to leave the EU or leave Spain, but just taking into account that identities is not something you can link to a certain country, but also to a region. And I think the EU should take a more moderate and neutral way in bringing both parties to the table.
And should the German government lead mediation or dialogue between Catalonia and Spain?
Definitely, we should do that actually, because taking into account that Mr. Puigdemont is now in Germany and is awaiting his trial, his process here, and I think actually he, with regard to his extradition, I think he's in good hands with a judiciary system in Germany. I think that history shows that Germany has always had a strong judiciary branch and also a very protected judiciary system. And I think that also the case of Mr. Puigdemont is, in this case, is a judicial one, and the political one. That one should be solved on a different level. For example, at the table with the EU, bringing all parts of the characters together that are currently in a little crisis, let's say that.
Thank you very much. Still on this issue, today the Catalan ombudsman, Rafael Ribó, held a series of meetings in the Council of Europe in Strasbourg. This is an international body formed by 47 European countries that promotes the protection of human rights. The Ombudsman met with the new Commissioner for Human Rights of the Council of Europe to discuss the situation in Catalonia during the independence referendum and the fact that politicians and activists are currently held behind bars. He told her that the Spanish government has yet to offer any explanations about the police actions that day. These were condemned by that very same organization, the Council of Europe, and warned that fundamental rights are, in his view, being violated in Catalonia.
Primer jo diria que he trobat una sorpresa per part de tots els interlocutors en la mesura que potser no eren del tot conscients del que significa que en un estat de la Unió Europea i en un estat del Consell d'Europa hi hagin presos polítics. A la Unió Europea deu ser l'únic exemple i en el Consell d'Europa són exemples molt estrafolaris. Per tant, crec que el Consell d'Europa tard o d'hora ha de prendre cartes en l'afer.
Moving on now, as you know, housing is one of the priorities of the Catalan government and the Barcelona City Council. Rents continue to rise in the Catalan capital, while for many, buying is out of the question. Now the mayor of Barcelona has reached an agreement with other political parties so that 30% of new flats built in the city will be used for social housing. The agreement has been welcomed by social agents that warn that houses are less and less affordable in the Catalan capital. But promoters warned that forcing them to sell 30% of their flats to cheaper rates could cause an increase in prices for the rest of the apartments. The measure could imply that around 330 more new social houses will be built each year. Colau and her supporters expect the measure to help avoid evictions, which continue to happen in the city. Only today, for instance, protesters avoided some individuals being evicted from their homes. Holidays in Catalonia aren't just a chance for celebration. they're an excuse to share good food, too. Many occasions have their corresponding dish, and Sant Joan, Catalonia's summer solstice revelry on June 23rd, is no different. You might know about the fire, but have you heard of the Coca de Sant Joan?
What better way to celebrate than with sweets? And this Saturday night, the eve of Sant Joan, is your opportunity to try the Coca de Sant Joan, a sweet flatbread with nuts, candied fruit and powdered sugar that gives the cake a bejeweled look. It's eaten in mass, and this year it is projected that close to 1.7 million of them will be consumed, and sales might even increase.
De fet, la gent el dissabte doncs, és un dia ja festiu, ja de bon dematí doncs, ja poden disposar un temps per comprar la coca i aleshores doncs, creiem que serà un bon Sant Joan.
And it will be a good Sant Joan not only in terms of economy. This year, the Bakers Guild of the Lleida region, to the west of Barcelona, offered a workshop for people with Down syndrome to make their own cocas, which then they could take home. This, according to the Bakers Guild, is much better than buying at a supermarket, which doesn't sell the true version of the pastry.
Por los ingredientes que lleva 8.000, no se le puede calificar como coca de Sant Joan, que solo lleva el huevo, la leche, la harina y poco más.
The highest sellers will continue to be the classic version made with brioche, pine nuts and cream, followed by the traditional pork ring version. But there are plenty of other options for the more adventurous, like mascarpone, mango, sausage, tuna, even in ice cream form. If you are looking to try one for yourself, you'll be spending around 16 to 35 euros, and it will be definitely worth it.
And with the dreams of eating soon all those Sant Joan cakes, we finish today's show. To say goodbye, we give you the music of Antonia Font, a Balearic group that sings in Catalan. After leaving the stage, they got back together again last week for a concert in defense of freedom of expression. Enjoy, and see you tomorrow.
I una pluja suau de pols estel·lar